Okay, so something many of you don't know is the fact that I'm actually into hi-fi. Now, whenever you think of me, you probably just think of the room with the 418s and the SBL and all that sort of stuff. However, I'm actually into hi-fi, surprisingly enough. So, without further ado, I'm going to be showing you the hi-fi system in its entirety and the plans, because I do have some plans for this system, because my parents actually support this system a little bit more than the other one, because this one they like, the other one they don't agree with because it's ridiculously loud, and we all know that. So basically, the speakers are all Dayton Audio. They're Dayton Audio Designer Series 5-inch woofers. They're 50 watt RMS. This amplifier is not very powerful either. This amp does, I think, 14 watts. No, it's 12 watts per channel at 6 ohms at 0.007% THD, total harmonic distortion, which is a very, very low number. And I'm running these at 8 ohms, so that number may be even lower, and the lower the better. If you had 0.0000 infinity 1, that would be an incredible amplifier. It has a very high dampening factor, and it's also got a very low signal to noise, when it sounds really, really nice, that amplifier. You'd think I'd be using something else in here. There are many more amplifiers I would use, except they just don't sound as good as that amplifier. This amplifier has so many features too, as far as built-in EQs. It's got this one, which is D-Bass, which is 40 Hz boost. Let me just pull you into focus. Then it's got a bass which you can adjust from 100 to 150 or 200 Hz. That's plus or minus 6. So I just leave that at 0 as well. I leave it all at flat. Treble is adjustable between 6.1, 7.5, 10, 12 and 15, and then there's a built-in 9-band EQ as well, so extremely flexible, except I just like to run it flat because I like to hear what the speakers actually sound like without making them sound different. And that goes from 0 to 80, and I would never turn, if you have one of these, never turn it past 60, because you'll hear a little clicky noise, and that's when it goes from flat, and then it starts to, once it hits over 60, volume 60, which is still ample, it tries to adjust it so it can actually just output louder, but it isn't as clean, and it just messes around a little bit with the signal, and it's just, don't turn it past 60. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. I'll just put you right up to the mic. Hear that noise? Is me clicking it past 60. Now 60 is really loud anyway, especially for listening. You would never really want it past probably 55 anyway. But these speakers are custom built. They're T-lines, and from memory, this is a chamber here, just like a bookshelf, but then there's a baffle that comes out, then there's another baffle that comes out, and it drops right down to the bottom, brings it back up, and then drops it right back out to the bottom, out of this rear port back there. So these actually have a ridiculously good bass response, right down to 30 Hz. Let's see, as much as I don't like to do it, turn the D-Bass all the way up. You can hear it hits that low note really nice, and it's really, really clean when it does hit that low note. For a source, I'm just using the iPod 5 with Spotify downloaded in extreme quality, Spotify Premium, that is, downloaded in extreme quality. And then what I like to do is hang on, let me pull you into focus. Then what I like to do once I've done that is turn the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth off, which just eliminates the chances of any sort of interference coming in. And I just sit that there. It's plugged into the wall charging, so it never goes flat. It doesn't give me any hum through the sound, or through the signal, which is lucky I find when I had a laptop in here, as well as the extremely annoying laptop fan noise. You would also get a slight hum if the laptop was charging. So I just have that, so even at the lowest volumes, this system still sounds amazing. Dayton Audio AMT, the cheap little one, it's like $28 or something, and it sounds really, really clear and really, really nice. Coupled with that woofer, it's a really, really good combination. And I believe it was crossed at 4.5 kilohertz with a Dayton Audio crossover as well. maybe 3.5. I'm pretty sure it's 4.5 though, because these woofers play cleanly up to 5. And the tweeters aren't supposed to play below 3,000. I do not remember, it's been a while since I actually built these. And then I think it was the heavy duty binding posts I put in there, and they look really, really nice, and they're very, very, as much as I only have banana plugs plugged into them, they're very, very nice terminals. And yeah, so I'm into hi-fi, surprisingly enough. Now as far as plans, also those trio subs are just chilling there. I can show you right behind them. There's absolutely nothing back there. Not plugged in. There's no need. The amount of bass these 5s output is incredible enough. I do not need to have a subwoofer in here. It's actually surprisingly good from these. Like generally you wouldn't run a hi-fi listening system without a sub, where like yes it could benefit from maybe like a Dayton HO8 or something just there or something like that. But as far as the sound quality, it's perfect in my opinion. Well, at least it's enough for what I do. Now you may have noticed the pillows behind them, obviously because they're reported and they're so close to the wall. This room doesn't have acoustic foam either, so they're there to sort of work as acoustic foam in order to treat the echoes, because this room really, really badly needs some acoustic foam. I know my other room has some, but I drew on the wall when I was planning that out, and I don't want to take it off because there's markings on there and it would just look bad. But I'm planning on getting 40 30 by 30, which is 12 inches sheets, and I'll put 5 wide, 4 tall, which will probably start just about here, and that will come up to here, and that'll be that whole area there, all acoustic foam, so the reflections off the back of the speakers. And then I'll be putting some above my bed here. Now this is basically the same as the music room, except this is my bedroom with my bed, so late at night I can listen to music. Got my salt lamp on, drink bottle, a fan. I like that fan because it has timers and stuff like that, and a clock radio at 7:45 p.m. on, I don't know the date, but yeah, it's just slightly bigger and much better lighting because the window doesn't have a shed in the way like the other room does. But nevertheless, having a slightly bigger room and no acoustic treatment definitely means if I mute that, this room has horrible acoustics, so I really do need to get some acoustic treatment for this room in order to fix that. But yeah, just little things like that. Maybe I'd put like a couple bass traps up in that corner, a couple down there, some right up there, and then I guess the only other spot I can put them is right there. And yeah, bass trap this room up, get some acoustic foam, get this room sounding nice. And for listening, I like to drop that down, the blind down, just because it's a slight little difference, but it's definitely noticeable. Any blank area reflects sound, whereas this fabric, it has to hit the fabric. It sort of doesn't go through the fabric, but if it does, it hits the window and comes back, and by the time it hits the fabric, the sound waves are so weak they can barely come back through, so it reduces a bit of echo. So if I could do that around the room a bit more, I'll probably get more acoustic foam. Just, you gotta have some reflections, so I'll probably leave the ceiling open, and maybe I'll probably put some on the doors and maybe some of that wall there, but you need to have some sort of reflections, just not too many, otherwise it sounds horrible. But anyway, that was just a quick show of my hi-fi system, because I was talking with one of you guys the other day, and you thought I was right into the hi-fi and didn't actually enjoy hi-fi listening. Now, believe me, I love listening to music, any music, and I absolutely love late at night, chilling in bed, just sitting up, the salt lamp on, just giving nice ambient lighting into the room, some nice jazz on. It's just really, really lovely. It's a great thing to do at night. But yeah, that's the hi-fi system walkthrough. For wire, it's just 12 gauge. No, it was going to be 12 gauge, but I ended up going 16 gauge because I didn't need 12. And the 12 gauge I had is CCA instead of OFC, and OFC definitely sounds nicer than CCA, so it's just this 16 gauge OFC instead of the 12 gauge CCA wire I run in the music room, which is Sky High Car Audio. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video of my hi-fi system. If you did, leave a like. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. See you later.